It is legal counsel time, and attorney Charlie O'Hara is joining us today. 8:30. You can call in the question if you have a legal question. 436-1212. Good morning, Charlie.
Good morning.
Appreciate you coming.
Sure.
Charlie said it was raining pretty hard out there on the west side, so he made through the rain. All right, we're going to get to the phones, and we have a caller already waiting. Good morning. What's your question?
Good morning. Yes, about a year ago, we hired a friend, an acquaintance, to do some auto body painting for us. And about 2 weeks after he got it done, the paint started cracking. And he came over, I'd say about 3 months later, and sanded the areas that were bad. But since then, he hasn't done anything. And we've been really patient. We've been, calling and texting and trying to see when he's going to come back over to finish the work. But he always seems to be making excuses not to do it. And we wanted to know if we have a legal stance against him.
Well, you probably do. I don't know the extent of the damage that you would have from that, but but if he was supposed to fix your car and he didn't fix it right, and he doesn't repair it and doesn't make it right, you can sue him. And depending on how much loss there is from the car, you could either go to small claims court and represent yourself, which you can do, or you could go and hire an attorney and see an attorney about that. But it may not be enough that you want to spend the money on an attorney. You might try to do it yourself.
Yeah, sometimes it's kind of hard when you hire a friend or, someone
yes, that's
who...
usually a mistake. A friend, or what is the old brother-in-law joke?
Right,
yeah.
right. So you have to be careful with those, huh, Charlie?
Yes, you do.
All right, we have another caller on the line. Good morning to you. What's your question?
My question is a question about the authority that a teacher or a coach could have over what a child, a student says on Facebook or Twitter.
Well, I mean, that's obviously an interesting question. And when you say a teacher or a coach, that there may even be a difference right there. Obviously, I don't think a teacher has much control over what someone personally puts on their Facebook while they're not at school. A coach, though, when he has a team and it's extracurricular, in other words, it's not during the mandatory school part, if he has a team and he wants the team to not say certain things and do certain things, he can control that team because it's basically a voluntary team. So he can control that. Controlling free speech at school is rather difficult. They obviously have to control speech so that there can be order in school. You can't be yelling terrible things out in the middle of class or disrespecting your teachers in a bad way. But obviously also, everyone needs to use judgment. And I think posting things on the internet or Facebook or anything like that is probably a mistake for a lot of people. They don't realize that anybody can read that. And you really need to teach your kids and discipline yourself to whatever you put on the internet or on Facebook, you may see back again. It may be in court, it may be in school, and you may have to explain it. But I think freedom of speech probably trumps in most cases.
Yeah, but it takes it to a whole new level, the internet.
That's right. You need to be careful. People really need to be careful.
For some reason, they don't understand that when you put it out there, it is out there.
Well, yeah, I mean, say it in a social group, people repeat it, and it comes back all different ways.
Yeah, right.
But if you write it down, however you say it, it's there.
Interesting. We have another caller on the line. All right, good morning. What's your question for Charlie?
My daughter had some brake repair done and paid for it and left place and didn't feel like the brakes had changed any. And when she got home, she had called him and they said, well, just give it a little time. They're a little tight right now. And it just didn't change. And she kept calling back, and he was never there or couldn't take her call or anything. And I was wondering, what do we do? Do we sue him? Do we call him to the Better Business Bureau?
You can do both of those things. You can sue him. You can go to court. Whatever the damages are, he's supposed to fix whatever he does. I think one lesson you would get from these phone calls we're having today is you ought to go to someone to fix your car that's been in business quite a while, and you've been there, and don't go to some mechanic you don't know much about in some little shop or your friend's friend or something like that. You're going to be much better off, even if you have to pay a little bit more, to go to somebody that's been doing that business a long time.
Yeah. All right. Good advice. Thank you, Charlie.
Okay.
Good questions, folks. Thanks for calling in today. Charlie will be back next Wednesday, so make sure to join us then if you didn't get your call in.